Let's now go over giving your clients resources. And giving resources is really, really useful because what it does, it allows you to answer questions once and not have to repeatedly repeat the same type of stuff. Once you basically get a question 3 times, that's something that the majority of your clients will probably ask you. And it's useful to have a resource created that you can give to them to get them to go over, and then you can clarify anything that they have to say from that. Now, one of the mistakes that I have made in the past is I gave my clients too many resources at the beginning, which was quite overwhelming. So what we need to do is do this strategically so clients only receive what's necessary for their current stage. Okay, so an example of that would be not giving a client advanced blood work information when they're just starting to do their food diary, as an example. So we want to start with essential resources only at the onboarding. Okay, we really need to keep it a little bit smaller than what we think they need, simply because if we give them too much in week one, they're going to be overwhelmed anyway. We need to remember that they're starting to probably record their food for the first time. They're starting to train for the first time. They've got to use the app. There's a lot of things that they're learning at that point. So the only things we really need to give them are workout program guide on the app, how to use the app guide so they know how to use it, check-in guide, and maybe a goal-setting worksheet. So we don't need to send all the stuff at the beginning because they're going to get paralysis, information paralysis, and that's not going to be a good thing at all. Now, from here, we can roll out the resources based on progress. So as a client gets better with this, we can then do more and more stuff over time. And this can be totally individualized to your client's niche or to the niche that you're working with. You need to make sure you're giving resources at the right time to the right people in the right niche. So, for example, if you're working with men and you create a PCOS resource, it's probably not the best idea to roll that out because it's not going to be relevant to that audience. I've gone a bit too far. So now there's a couple of ways that we need to also take care of that, which is organizing it so it's easy to get. Now you can have a resource section, and in the Kahunas app, they have a resource section for that, which makes it really, really easy for you to give it to your clients, and you just simply have to instruct them to go there. Now, with each resource, probably have a guided note, like if you're looking to do X, this guide is for you. And then also make sure that clients know that that's there all the time so they can use that as a self-reference tool. And a lot of the time they ask you a question and you have a guide on it, they don't know, just say, hey, have you looked at the guide for X in the resource section? A lot of the time they will forget it's there. So getting to go back and do it will be a good thing as well. Now, provide resources on demand is also a nice little strategy that you can use. Generally, wait for a request rather than giving everything out proactively. I used to proactively give it out. I used to give out shake guides, eating out guides, macro counting guides, so warm-up guides, recovery guides, all these types of things. And what happened is people didn't use them because it was overwhelming. It was too much stuff. And with this, always still personalize your response to the client based on how it's going to help. This guide is going to help you with X because Y. And then they can basically go from there. Now, how do we create those resources? Generally, we want to monitor patterns. Okay, so look at the common questions. Again, if you get asked 3 times, it's probably worthwhile for a resource. Develop quick reference guides and add new resources to the library, and you can announce it to your client group. So if I get asked a question in this course, for example, is resources. We got asked about how often do we give out resources. So we created this module to answer that particular question. So when someone asks me, I'll be able to say, have you looked at the module on that? When they go to that module, fantastic. If I get the question multiple times, then I'll probably look at creating a resource and adding another module to the course. So this is where the course is not a static thing. It will continually grow and get bigger. Now with the resources, it's really important to be clear and be brief. Generally, the longer you make the resource, the less likely the client is to benefit from it because they won't read it. So checklist, step-by-step formats, anything that's a one-page summary or a visual tutorial is going to be better than a 100-page ebook, simply because people will be able to take what actually matters, implement and use, and get results. If they want more detailed information, that's where you upsell them to a higher level of coaching. Now, reassess resources regularly. So check if they need anything, if they need any more information regularly. You ask clients if they need more information from anywhere, ask them what they think about the particular resource, and then adjust it based on that. It is important to keep them up to date for people to make sure that, you know, your clients actually benefit from them, and you can then use them as lead magnets because if people like them, they're probably going to be useful for attracting people to your business as well. And then you can use the automation tools for resource delivery. So making sure people get the right thing at the right time. Now, this is hard for all the resources simply because not every client's going to need every resource at the right time. So you can use automated email sequences, and this is really, really good for things that everyone must have, which are the how to use the app guide, the check-in guide, and stuff like that. Everything we cover in the onboarding one. We can use in-app triggers as well and scheduled reminders of resources of the week. But our key thing that we need to remember is not to overwhelm our clients. We need them to basically be at the right time, at the right place to give the clients the tools they need.